Welcome to the sports. I'm your host, Vince Douglas. Great, be interesting, very interesting. What's the safest invest? Hey, I'm gonna add other sports just because I'm cool like that. I'm cool like that. Able to ask for a trade or able to ask to leave. Let's make it the difficult. Current situation. That is an easy one, but let's make it difficult for difficult sake. You'll thank me later. You will thank me later. And if you made it able to have a side job to make more money, now that seems, break it down. It's not a joke. There's a real answer, and you'll be surprised by the answer. You'll definitely be surprised. Now, what's the safest? It initially started off as NFL team or MLB team. I want to open this up. Because with just those two options, it's sort of easy, you but it depends on how you predicting or seeing your future. Project, a rebuilding project, or something you just want to pump money in, you just want your money to just continue to spend it. NFL team will be the one. NFL team will be the one to go. If you are all, there might be some problems in the future. There might be some problems. Also, right now, with it's not looking too good. Your money will probably still grow, but it's not. Whereas you're gonna need to put some years into this. You're gonna need to have this investment in for. It ain't looking that good. The average age of the fan is pretty high. The sport is long. The games are long. The sport is considered to be boring. It's a fixer-upper. But when you fix it up, potential to grow will be more than, yes, more than the NFL. If you're asking me, and you are asking me, it will be more than, because baseball, you can grow it or have. Baseball is played on a lot of different continents. Baseball is kind of centralized to the North American experiment. It's around the world where it's definitely appreciated, but it's not necessarily appreciated. You can quote me on that one. I ain't scared. I ain't never scared. But me to that one time, and the people who need them receipts. But I wanted to open this up past those teams. It's easy. I want to open up to football. Yes, soccer. You're asking me. One, there's already a large fan base with the sport not going anywhere anytime soon. In fact, it is still growing, and it will still be considered to be still growing, especially in the areas, in the places where you basically need it to grow, because it hasn't reached its tippy top in North America and other places. Soccer, because it's already huge and big in some other areas and other place where it is there for the taking. It is there to be consumed, and if there, your money can just explode. You can just be doing your little months. And see, I'm not doing the money man dance. I'm just doing the two-step. I don't want to insult you by doing my money man dance and putting my money man dance on you. It's about, is that your money man dance? And I don't want to get you in trouble like that. I don't want to. Soccer would be the sport, be the league that you, and how large the fan base around the world globally is anyway. And you have all of that factored in. You have once that's out of the way, depending on where you are and where you located, your money will start making more money, and it would just be a beautiful and amazing thing. You won. Hockey, it's definitely a low buy-in. It would definitely be a low buy-in, or getting this team or buying this team, your expectations can change even further. But I'd say scale back the expectations. Have the league is gonna be around, but it definitely needs some work to grow past this point over this period of time. So it's gonna be something that having a decent amount of interest. If you're not in the red, hopefully you're not in the red. If you are in the red, I'd suggest you take that money, teams within the sports I already named. Football, NFL, if you can buy in, but I'm assuming that you are. I'm assuming we're in imaginary zone right now. We are having an imaginary talk right now. I'm talking, you're talking, we're having a conversation. We are, best BFF, and I said it. I ain't scared. I said it. I can say it again. BFFs, best friends forever. If you need me, if you had the money, and if you were able to, you could definitely NFL, the National Football League, and your money at this short period of time will grow. Your franchise, your team would it'll just keep going up and up and up. The balloon or the bubble will eventually burst down, because it is definitely going to reach a point where, not saturation, the point where the balloon pops, the bubble bursts. Some of us are already pointing to that point. You probably have to go and check out a video I've done when I basically mention and talk about that point, but that's not for here. Here is making sure you're getting the best investment, and definitely depending on whether you are a blue chip day trader or are you a long-term investor. Set it up to what league fits how you operate and see investments to be. NBA, hey, so much potential, and it's definitely, but it's still on a come up. Shout out to you know who. Shout out to soccer, you know who would be the one where it's, if you can build it and wait, it will come. Where you are, or it can definitely be a long-term investment itself, with the amount of fans of the sport and of these footballers. Be that hockey probably risk your day trading risk, where you buy at a certain price, and then as soon as you peak out, as soon as you win a few cups, as soon as you are maxed out, you want to get out. Really, really unpredictable how it's going to go and how it's going to be, because every time I think directions and the right steps, they get knocked back down, or they do something else, or they should be trusted right now. But that's okay. That's fine. They'll figure it out. But that's for someone else. But if you definitely, it's in between. It's in between. We'll always definitely still, and yes, always means always something, and that's all you can ask for. That's all you can ask for. Hopefully that answers the question. The main thing comes down to how you invest. How do you see your investments? What do you consider yourself a term gain, or are you just living on the margins, or do you want to see some value? You want to buy low, sell high. You always want to turn and make a profit. If it isn't working out, and if things aren't going the way they should be going, you need to get out. You need to bounce. You need to, for this, say, can players ask for a trade, or can players say, hey, I want to go, I want to leave? A player can ask for a trade in any of the sports, any of the other sports where you can ask for a move. Depending on how the contract is structured with freely, he won't be able to move to a different team unless certain team that he doesn't approve of, if it's structured that way, depending on the sport. Because some sports reject the move because he doesn't want to go to the team, he doesn't want to go to the club, he doesn't want to go to, maybe it's a winner, but he won't be playing any, he won't have any game time. He won't have any time to play. He wants to sit on the bench and make millions. Come on. It's for the love of the game. It's because they love the sport that they are playing. And obviously, some sports require more love than others, but when it's all, everything else follows. Fact. Yes, I'm giving you the benefit of, not really, but fight me. And depending on whether you can get the same value, it's not gonna happen. Then you can kick up a fuss. It's all bad. you don't want to do that, but some have in the past, and now in the back end of the deal, they are valued or they are worth more than a collective bargaining agreement kind of thing. But it's definitely understandable sense. Basically, business of entertainment, but entertainment in the sense of competition and competing each game, each match. That is real. But that competition is something that we are entertained by. That competition is something that drives us. That competition is something that we crave because of the emotions and the emotional factor and all of the other things that it gives part us. Of the family. And that's the organization and that's the team. And sometimes the players can feel that way too. But since players can leave, since players growing up that might not be their favorite team that they're on, but they respect to give their all, or attempt to give their all, or they basically go to their job and work on their fan of when they were younger. It's all good. It is all, you heard it here first. Players can't ask for a trade. Players can get trade. It depends on what works out best for the team that's holding all the cards. It's not work unless there already have been an agreement, a handshake deal where I'm going to do this and you're going to do that, maybe a tit for tat, or maybe bargaining chip, transactional thing, whereas I do this, get this, and what have you. But for the most part, the club, the team, the organization are going to make the move what's best for them, and everything else unless it falls in the criteria that I mentioned before. But who knows? It may not. They might just let the player go because the players say, hey, I want to go. Oh, that's cool. You don't want to be here? We're not going to hold you here. And yes, hostage is a loaded word, but come on now. You're somewhere where you don't want. What is it? I have other words that I could use. The one that you can visualize is like, I'm being held against my will. Blink twice. I'm not going to blink. But from this point on, I'm going to start blinking again because I can't hold it. Now, with the player being able to ask for a trade, they can ask for a trade. But you're going to have to put your thinking caps on, not the dunce hat, not the hat with the cone head or anything like that. You don't come out here with the rest of us. You don't have to sit in the corner. You can come out here with the rest of us, but it's going to require some thinking. It's going to require some deep thinking, but it's okay. I got you. We can hold hands. You just know that we did this together, but if you want all the credit, go ahead. Professional athletes have side jobs, make more money. Yes, they can. Why can't they? In fact, hold your breath. You can hold it for a long time, but this won't take a long time because once I say it, the light bulb's gonna come on. That's fine. That's what I'm here for. That's what BFFs are for. That's what the best friends forever tell you when you are going out the rockers. Hey, you are going out the rockers. You are out of control. You know that was a bad idea. You know we should. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. And the reason I say the light's gonna come on because a lot of players, a lot of superstar players already have side gigs. They already have side jobs. It's not the jobs that you're thinking about. It's not the jobs that minor league baseball players have to support the main job, and the baseball part is the side job. And or if you need me to say it again, baseball, minor league, side job. The other job is the real job. That's the main job. But that's not side note of Vince's notes. Side note. Players, star players, or some other players, it doesn't matter. The only thing, for whatever reason, a company or a brand or something finds them appealing or interesting or want to tap into whatever magical juice, magical potion that they are sprinkling, clean adult version of what I really wanted to say. What I really wanted to say, because it's still a family program and a family show. It's cool. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at you. I ain't got nothing but love for you. But what you think? Yeah. Having endorsements is a side job. The side job. Making appearances, paid appearances, signing autographs, if people still take autographs and do that, is an appearance. And they're getting paid for having the appearance for so long. They are putting their likeness, they are using whatever it is that makes that brand wants that following, that brand wants that recognition, that brand wants that cred that you are selling, that you have, that they don't have to try to make athlete into whatever it is, and they got that street cred or whatever. Yes, basically, then athlete having a side job because it's not their main job. Their main job is to the side job is showing up to whatever event that requires them to show up, because that's the deal of the contract, that's the deal of the agreement, that's the deal that both sides, both parties came to. Commercial, making and recording the commercial, to have the commercial where the demographics fits what they're trying to reach out there on their brand. By them having the player, it makes them more cool. It makes them a little bit more by having that player rock their gear, by having that player eat their food. Whatever it is their marketing, whatever it is that the team of gurus with the pad and pen said, blank, 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 blank. And of course, sometimes it just doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, they don't pick up the deal anymore. Company they are working for on their side gig, they part ways and they go a different direction. And there's also the players with the shoe deals, the shoe. That is a side gig as well. However, some players are really serious about their footwear and their gears, and if the kicks aren't working, if the kicks aren't right, if the shoes aren't working, the shoes aren't right, who they are. Because getting a deal just because athletes do, they pick and they choose what fits them a little bit more. Started in the business, they will pick a couple of brands. You're like, wait a minute, you were young, you ain't understand how it worked. Now you know how it working. What really happened? What really went down? What's really gonna tell me your secrets? We BFFs. And see, I'm gonna keep saying it to prove to you that. And that is why the light bulb that athletes and players having endorsements is the side job that they can do and get more money, do have to get more money. And there are, wait for it, there are some athletes that get and have more money coming from their side jobs. Put your brain back in your skull, because I know it just popped out. Some athletes get their likeness more money from making appearances than their actual salary. What players? Hey, that's a different question for a different day and a different show. Athletes get extra money. Easy answer is yes. The long answer is what I just gave, hopefully. And also, they are able to be paid on top of whatever it is they're doing. Not get another team, play another sport, even though that's happened before. Now it'd be sort of hard to do, but I'm sure someone will try it out, and someone will be super freak who can do multiple sports, pay him real money to do it. I just don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up, but it's definitely star players. The mediocre players can get this paper too. Depending on the sorry players, their value, depending on their worth, depending on their agent work, their company, and coming into agreement to have them pushing on their following and their fans and that company that These players are brands themselves, and the ones that are brands themselves can put a number down, and if the company don't match, tell them no. They can just kick rocks, keep walking, kick rocks and keep walking, because you ain't welcome here. That what you pushing, that what you attempting, then you have to do on your own. You don't understand. When I move, I say go trends. You don't understand. When some players with brands that big, though they probably can, but they can set the market, company, the brands, or the other smaller brands that want them, take it or leave it and go somewhere else, find another athlete, find another couple of levels below within their price range, and go that direction. And go players with that much power and that much pull, they set their price on their quote side job, end quote. They can set the price and they can make just as much off of that than their actual salary. And a few do actually make more than their actual salary. But then you have clubs, and then you have sport athlete that can go to, and you can tap in to their, by just being there, benefit from everything that's involved with the customers that you would have never got anywhere else. You can get the that you could have never, that you found on you successfully by yourself. Few entities, sports entities, a few clubs that can happen where it explode and it can become more recognizable. But for the most part, both the club and both the player have brands of their own. They come together and they form a super brand. No, that's not the money man dance. That's the running man. Because I'm running, because two brands coming together, that's an explosion that only a few are prepared and ready for. That's an explosion. That's cool. That is cool. But if you have the money, make believe as well, you can buy ties. Whatever sport team is going to boil down to, what kind of investor are short-term goals? What are your long-term goals? Are you solid, living off the margin, steady, blue chip? That comes down. Can ask for a move. Players can ask to be on to their face turns a different color. Red if they ain't. But it's up to what actually benefits the franchise, unless there's some language in the contract that says this can happen only if these teams. So that's going to require more information from different sources, more information about the team, about what's allegedly together, and whether the move can happen. Because just because you want to go doesn't mean that the place wants you or you want. There are many variables. Has to be beneficial. 60-40 is going to be either the club or the player. And it's the player if it's then you have some organizations that would just move a player, find somewhere, you come back, and we'll see what we can do. But that's and yes, players can make more and more money than a regular job unless you are a minor league baseball player. Then your side job, one you go to the most because it's supporting, it's doing everything, and your major job is, you get it. So if you could invest in any sport, it doesn't matter would you invest in what sport, and why would you do it? Or it just doesn't matter, and it's just something that you would want to do because it's cool and it's just like playing a game. And if you were a player And if a team didn't allow you or wanted you to move, what would be some of the steps? Would you throw a fit? Would you look for another team to take? If your side job was making more than your major job, my job actually depended on your major job because your major job gave you the street cred. So how would you work that out, or how would you work out the situations, period? Hey, you can pick, you can choose, or you can just come up with another question. It's cool, it's fine. We alright here. We alright here. And we gonna be alright.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.